Race of the year contender. Nashville Superspeedway. Denny Hamlin, 45 years old, outduels his Joe Gibbs Racing teammates Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe in a 4-lap shootout to the checkered flag. Last lap pass, 3 wide going into turn 1 on the final lap. Are you kidding me? Amazing race last night. It had it all. And even though Hamlin won, it was not without some adversity. He got penalized on the initial start. His first start violation of his entire career. That's like, what, 750 starts of Cup Series racing? To have it happen now? And he still came back and won. I was laughing hysterically because it was the most obvious, blatant, manipulative restart I've ever seen in my entire life. He went like 100 feet before the restart zone. And I was like, yeah, he's definitely getting penalized for that. What do you know? Bam. They nagged him for it. It didn't matter. From first to last, all the way back to first for Denny Hamlin. Career win number 62. He has to get this championship one day, right? He's at the top of his game, and he's just getting older and older. Usually people in the 40s, when they hit like 40, 44, 45, they begin to fall off. We've seen him with so many NASCAR legends. Denny Hamlin's only getting better. He's in great physical shape. He took a bow for Kyle Busch. He's only 1 win away from tying the late Kyle Busch now. And he was pumped up, bro. That was exciting. The whole race was super duper exciting. It also helps that Amazon Prime has amazing coverage for these races. Like, Fox would have missed half the wrecks that happened. Fox would have kept going to commercial. I think the last 90 something laps, no commercial breaks at all. I love that. The booth is awesome. The pit road reporters are awesome. The pre and post race show, awesome. And it makes these races feel so much more important, even if they're duds. But this race was absolutely not a dud. Let's just go over the 4-lap shootout to end this race. 4 laps to go. Hamlin pushes Bell out front. Great restart. Bell was one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car all night. I thought he finally had it. Goes up the track a little bit. He had it made, dude. Hamlin powers around the bottom side. Now it's Joe Gibbs Racing. 1, 2, 3. Hamlin on the bottom, Bell up top, and Briscoe just waiting in the wings. Briscoe is trying to time a run right here, get a 2-for-1 special. Coming to 3 to go right here, side by side, close. Here comes Briscoe. Elliott and SVG battle behind them. Hamlin pulled his famous move right here. He likes to run the car on the outside up the racetrack a lot. Here it comes. Bam, there it is. That's like Hamlin's specialty move. He runs the guy up the racetrack on the bottom and makes the guy on the outside have to lift. But Bell's not giving an inch. Briscoe's still there in third, waiting for something to happen. Coming to 2 laps to go, still side by side. Side by side for multiple laps for these two guys right here. Incredible stuff. Going into the corner, Hamlin charges deep. Bell's still on the outside. A little contact right there. Hamlin runs Bell up the racetrack. They lose some speed. Here comes Briscoe with a huge run. Where's he going to take it? Goes to the top side right here. Amazing move. 3 wide. 3 teammates going into turn 1. They all send it into the corner. Bell up the racetrack. Briscoe up the racetrack. Hamlin just wraps the bottom so nicely right there. Clears Bell. I was expecting Bell to dump him, but Bell's not that kind of guy because that would be really funny. But Bell tried the outside, the clean way around. One more shot, drives it in, just simply not enough. Hamlin has that cleaner out front. Second win of the year for Denny Hamlin. Absolutely remarkable stuff. Beautiful. Amazing finish. The race as a whole was so chaotic. So much happened. 12 caution flags. I believe a record for Nashville Superspeedway. Also, the most lead changes due to all the different pit strategies. Guys taking 2, guys taking no tires, guys staying out, guys taking 4. So many different leaders. Let's start by going over all of the finishers in this race. Win number 2 on the season for Denny Hamlin, not counting the All-Star race. 62 points earned, came from last to first. Well, first to last to first. Fastest lap of the race, too, 29.73 for Denny. The Toyotas dominated this race. The 3 Joe Gibbs cars of Hamlin, Bell, and Briscoe, and the 45 of Reddick was also really fast. Those 4 in particular just had a stranglehold on the rest of the field. And speaking of Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe second and third. Not the win they were looking for, and I thought Bell had this made. I threw money down on Bell winning this race, and he came 1 spot short. He was really fast. If that race stays green, at the end, before the last caution, I think Bell wins this race. Briscoe was close, but I think Bell was the better car. Still in Bell's position, he's up to 7th in points now. Everything that could have gone wrong this season for Bell has gone wrong. But good nights like this, back-to-back second-place finishes, like, good points. He needs these points. Chase Briscoe also a much-needed good race because he was, like, on that playoff bubble, the Chase bubble. He kept fluctuating above and below the line. Another season that's been really bad for Chase Briscoe, despite having all the speed in the world. A very nice race, though, in Nashville, 3rd place. He's comfortably in the chase right now as it stands because of his good night. A lot of guys had bad nights that were around that chase bubble. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was a non-factor all night, but taking 4 tires in that last restart, keeping his car in one piece. There's a lot of attrition in this race. 4th place. In that Kyle Busch tribute NOS Energy paint scheme. One of the best paint schemes ever. I'm so happy he had a good finish honoring Kyle Busch. And SVG, man, top 5. I think this might be his first top 5 on an oval that isn't like a speedway or super speedway like Daytona or Talladega or Atlanta, if I'm correct. But it wasn't just a fluke finish. He was up front. He led laps. Had a little pit strategy. Battled Kyle Larson for the lead, too. Held him off for a while, too. And Larson was on fresher tires. 5th place for SVG, the only Trackhouse car who's been doing anything this season. The other 2 cars wrecked out. We'll get to that. I feel like once he finally gets that oval win, it's coming. He's getting so much better at these tracks. Once he gets that oval win, oh my God. He's gonna continuously keep winning ovals once he gets it figured out. 6th and 7th go to Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott. I point these 2 out together because coming across the line, Ryan Blaney got a little too aggressive with the push, was trying to push the 9 car across the line. Nothing intentional there. Sends the 9 down into the 45, wrecks the 45. But again, that was probably the worst thing that's happened to Tyler Reddick all season. And he still finished 6th. So despite finally having a race where he gets taken out, it happened across the checkered flag. So Reddick still got that near 100-point lead on Denny Hamlin. Elliott a good night too. He had a terrible month of May. Good finish for Chase Elliott. Blaney was up front for a little bit due to some pit strategy. The best Ford once again. 8th place for Blaney. But Zane Smith in 9th I want to give a shout out to because he ran a great race. Led a bunch of laps too. He tried to stretch the fuel. And I thought it was going to work for a while. He was up front, really slow, but he was trying to skip that last pit stop, make it. Bell passed him, but right as Bell passed him, Chris Buescher blew his brake rotor out. And then now Zane's running in 2nd. Everyone's going to probably pit. But not everybody pitted. Zane Smith and a few cars did, but Zane Smith still gets a top 10. Zane had to pit. His tires were destroyed. But not the first time Zane was in contention for a win at Nashville Superspeedway. 2024, he finished runner-up to Joey Logano. I like Zane Smith. I think he is going to be a Cup Series winner before you know it. If he had a better car under him. And Carson Hocevar had a couple incidents tonight. He was kind of all over the place. He still gets a top 10. So, solid race, but he had a run-in with Chris Buescher earlier in the race, and then not many laps later, him and John Hunter Nemechek got together. You can, point fingers at whose fault it was, but the 77 was definitely getting a little aggressive on those restarts, but that's Carson Hocevar's nature. That's your top 10. But we got to go over pretty much everybody in this field because everybody has a little story to tell. Eric Jones, for his standards, had a very good night in that 43 Toyota. All the Toyotas were fast. Ty Dillon with a 12th place. Wow. Again, this race had a lot of attrition. Once we get to the bottom half of this running order, you'll see. 12th place, good race for him. Ty Gibbs was kind of off compared to his teammates. Not as fast, 13th. Logano, the 2024 Nashville winner, 14th. Wasn't really much of a factor all day. He's still a little bit below the chase bubble, but he needs to get more speed. I know Logano, even your Logano is inevitable, but this season's been terrible for Joey, and another mediocre run. Michael McDowell actually was up front in the top 5 for a while, top 10. Fell back to 15th. Noah Gragson, 16th. Riley Herbst, 17th. Austin Dillon, I'm going to get back to him, 18th. He had an eventful night, to say the least. Daniel Suarez, 19th. But due to pit strategy, he did get a stage win. So Suarez supremacy continues. Sticking it to Trackhouse. And Suarez actually he's 10th in points. Top 10 for Suarez. He should make the chase. Please God. And Todd Gilliland, top 20. Guys like Todd Gilliland and Cole Custer were involved in a wreck. Kyle Larson, 23rd, had a great top 5 run going on that last restart. Apparently, he ran over a brake rotor and it cut his tire. We actually saw him spin coming onto pit road with 2 laps to go, that big cloud of smoke. I was like, what is that? I'm surprised he didn't throw a caution, but he was kind of off the racetrack, so it's fine. But he had a great day. And unfortunately, something out of his control ruined his good finish. So yay. John Hunter went for a spin with Carson Hocevar earlier in the race. Contact between the two. Corey Heim had a pretty solid race. Again, he was just announced, actually, Corey Heim will be replacing Riley Herbst in that 35 car starting next season. I don't understand why they can't rebrand it to the 67 car. That'd be so funny. I'm telling you, if he won a race in the 67 car, it would be so marketable. But they're going to stick with the 35. They could change it. And also, again, they'll have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra 3 cars. Good continuity, good organization there. Austin Cindric got involved in a big wreck with Brad Keselowski. Austin Hill racing in Kyle Busch's car, 27th. Chris Buescher had a decent run, got hit by Carson Hocevar on one of the restarts. Then the last caution of the night was Chris Buescher. He blew a brake rotor. William Byron gets involved in this crash with Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman right here. The same crash that put Chris Buescher in the wall off Carson Hocevar. Bubba, lock the brakes. What are you doing? I think Bubba lost brakes at that point, came all the way down the racetrack after hitting the wall, hits Alex Bowman. Brad Keselowski gets taken out by Austin Dillon. So there's a little like a thing going on between Austin Dillon and Brad Keselowski. Earlier in the race, Keselowski had to really slow up. He almost hit the 47 as the 47 was trying to get on the pit road. The 6 was really slow, and the 3 tries to go to the bottom. I don't think it was intentional by Brad, but Brad went to the bottom trying to block the 3 maybe, and because of that, the 3 checks up. Ironically, Chris Buescher, Brad's teammate, hits the 3. The 3 goes for a spin. Later in the race, the 3 gets the back bumper of the 6, but to me, it looks like everyone just checked up due to the 4 of Noah Gragson losing his momentum. And the 3, you saw on the onboard, he tried getting out of the gas, but he hooked the 6 car into the 2, wrecking the 6. Brad Keselowski's spotter thought it was deliberately on purpose. Brad thought it was on purpose too. I just don't see it being on purpose. I think the 3 did not mean to. You could have given him more room. You could have checked up a bit more, but you clearly heard him out of the gas. The 3 was trying to avoid the 6 car.
Line up top. 3 bottom. Stay bottom. Easy.
I mean, he's out of the gas.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's an intentional.
But yeah, it's just a bad deal. A lot of guys who were fighting for like a chase spot had bad nights. Ross Chastain and Connor Zilic, 2 Trackhouse cars, blew brake rotors. AJ Allmendinger finished 35th, blown brake rotor. Brakes were a big issue in this race. We saw like 4 or 5 brake failures. And Nashville is one of the hardest tracks, probably besides Gateway, on brakes. So a lot of brake rotors flying, a lot of wrecks in this race, a lot of attrition. Some guys who needed good races had good races. Some guys who didn't have good races needed good races. Guys like Chastain, he's like sub 20th in points now. Priest is now like the last guy in the chase. He needed a good race. Brad Keselowski dropped down like 13th in the points. Bubba Wallace was 2nd in points in like March. Now he's back to 15th. Bowman, he's not going to make the chase at this rate if he keeps getting involved in crashes. Chris Buescher was like 6th in points. He dropped a little bit too. All these guys that are fighting to get in the chase, a lot of these guys had bad nights. But a lot of these guys had pretty good nights, like Bell and Briscoe. SVG's comfortably in the chase right now. Elliott a good rebound day. Hocevar a good day. Wild stuff at Nashville. It was just remarkable. The only downside of this race was the extra horsepower definitely helped. Higher speeds, more off throttle time. The lower downforce was fun too. It definitely improved the racing, I think. But that one issue was there was literally not any tire wear. Like 40, 50 laps in a run, the tires only had like a half a second to fall off. It was track position based. We saw a lot of pitch strategy come into play. Guys leapfrogging the entire field by staying out, taking 2 tires. That's how Suarez won the stage. I think AJ Allmendinger won the first stage too because of pitch strategy. We saw at the end with Zane Smith on like 70, 80 lap tires trying to save fuel go really slow compared to Christopher Bell, but that's 70 to 80 lap old tires. We never really got a run that long besides that one run towards the end of the race. But besides that, What I like about the next-gen car, I will say, compared to the Gen 6, remember how much side force came into play in those Gen 6 cars? The guy on the bottom always had such a hard time racing side by side with the guy on the top because the guy on the top would just suck all your side force away. I will praise the next gen. Side by side racing is very common in this car, and it's doable. 2, 3, 4 wide, and like the car on the bottom is not going to get instantly loose. So that's fun. I will give the next gen car that. It still needs a lot of work. But besides the tires, this race was fun. Easily at least a 9 out of 10. Awesome, awesome race. A lot of carnage. A lot of chaos. And I like some chaos. I was happily willing to stay up till 12:30 to watch the end of that race because obviously there was rain that came into play. And I think next week we go to Michigan, one of the best tracks with the next-gen car. I'm very excited. I wish, hopefully, going next year, they take this 750 horsepower low downforce package and just pull the trigger and make that the standard package for all tracks besides super speedways. Because I think it will help greatly. Those tracks, the 1.5 miles are already pretty good with the next-gen car, but the extra horsepower, lower downforce can't hurt. There's a couple other races, obviously, trucks and O'Reilly. Lane Riggs, third one of the year for Lane Riggs. I said he'd had 5 wins. So we're getting close. Back-to-back wins for Lane Riggs. Last lap pass on Raja Caruth. This track's honestly came into its own. People were skeptical when Nashville Super Speedway was first announced to return. I think it provides really good racing every single year. Even in the next-gen car, that says a lot. In the O'Reilly Series, Justin Allgaier wins another race. Good battle with the young Brent Cruz, too. Brent Cruz is going to be something special, guys. I saw a post that Justin Allgaier was considering retirement. I don't know if that's true, but if you're Allgaier, this is arguably his best season ever up to this point in the year. I would keep going. I would keep this momentum going. Race a few more years. You got to keep any more wins. Another championship or 2, who knows? But you're doing so well. You're taking these young kids to school. There was also an IndyCar race, I think at Detroit. I didn't get to watch it, but I just know Alex Palou, fork found in kitchen. Alex Palou won another IndyCar race. Kyle Kirkwood, second place. And then Graham Rahal gets third. That's good for Graham Rahal. He's actually had a couple podiums this year, I believe. But my newly found favorite, David Malukas, nothing he did wrong. He gets Mick Schumachered. That was fun. He would have got a podium finish too. He was passing Mick Schumacher if he didn't just throw him in the little pit, whatever they call that little area of the off. You gotta turn the car, bro. That's literally the NASCAR at Nashville. I think the best Cup race of the year to this point. I wish Amazon Prime can buy out Fox so we get a whole first half of the year just on Amazon Prime. If that's even possible because their coverage is just so good. Everything about it's just so good quality. The sounds are better. The visuals are better. The presentation's better. The announcers are better. The pit road reporters are better. The post-race show is awesome. I actually watch it. Some people might just turn the race off once it's done. I watch the whole thing. They bring the drivers up to the stand to talk post-race. All the interviews. It's they take it seriously. And if they can cover it seriously, it makes people watching, especially the casual fan, take it seriously. When coverage is bad, it makes the race feel that much less important. That much less important. Does that make sense? NASCAR, Nashville, 2026, peak race. Mwah! Peak race. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin. I'm sure he'll win more races. Will he ever get that championship? It looks great this year so far. It's the Toyotas are so good. Reddick and Hamlin, in particular, are very good. We shall wait and see. Thank you guys for tuning into Maine Motorsports. I'm Jake once again, and we will see you. I'll see you soon. Nashville was peak.